How's it going, everyone? We are headed into 2025, so you know I gotta look at some of the big upcoming JRPGs on PlayStation 4 and 5. Now, 2024, in my opinion, was literally a banner year for the genre, and I don't think 2025, at this point, from what is announced, is gonna be at the level of 2024. 2024 was straight up insanity. Remember in 2024, in the span of like a month, we got Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, Persona 3 Reload, and Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. I don't think that is going to be replicated in 2025, and in 2024 we also got Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D, we got Metaphor ReFantazio, The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 1, the start of a new arc. It was insanity. But there is still the opportunity for more games to get announced, and what we already have slated for 2025, sure, we might not have a game at the level of, let's say, a Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth or a Metaphor ReFantazio in terms of how popular the game is going to be, but we have a lot of exciting JRPGs that maybe you got into the genre in 2024 and you're looking to widen the games you play. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for that in 2025. With that being said, let's get right into it. We got 13 games to go over. I'll talk about each of them, and we got timestamps and chapters as well, so you can skip through it when you want. But right off the bat, we have the latest in the Atelier franchise, Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land. Now, Atelier has been one of the more niche JRPG franchises, but I see there being quite a lot of attention around Atelier Yumia, and I really do think that this could be one of the titles that does break this franchise out into a larger audience. Yumia is a story about memory. Explore the field to gather materials and synthesis items. The items you create can be key to advancing the story and can also be used in battles and exploration. Additionally, you can create your own base with building in the field as well. Love the visual styles. Some of the environments look absolutely fantastic. This unknown land stretches across the length and width of the continent, and the player can forge their own path utilizing a wide range of actions and items. A captivating variety of actions with range and items. In real-time combat, you'll be tested on your ability to make split-second decisions. Utilize two types of attacks, range and switch between skills to fight strategically. Additionally, synthesized items can transform into shapes such as swords or spears, which can be used to attack. Since these items are reusable, don't hesitate to deploy them and drive away enemies that stand in your way. Synthesis: create items interwoven with mana, manipulate the mana residing in materials to create new items based on recipes. The items you craft will exhibit powerful effects in various situations, such as exploration and combat. The strength of an item's power depends on the materials used in synthesis, so select your materials carefully while assessing the power of the embedded mana. And customize items by creating them on the field, and tailor your base to your liking as well. A narrative focus will be there as well. Love the art direction, and excited for this one as Atelier Yumia, the Alchemist of Memories and the Envisioned Land, will be dropping on March 20th. Next up, we got the latest in the Legend of Heroes franchise. The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 will be dropping on February 14th. Loved Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak, and 2025 is going to be a banner year for the franchise. Obviously, we have another major title that will be dropping, which I'll get to in a little bit, but Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak 2 will be the continuation of the Calvard arc, and if you have yet to play Trails Through Daybreak 1, you know, there's some debate for sure on what game you should start with. Trails Through Daybreak does start a new arc within Legend of Heroes, however, everything in Legend of Heroes is interwoven together. It's all connected, and a large portion of the fan base would say to play the game sequentially. I love Daybreak 1, legitimately one of my favorite games of 2024, putting in over 85 hours into the game, had a great time with it, and loved Van as a main character. Wasn't a big fan of him constantly getting roasted over being 24 years of age. I mean, come on, like, are we saying 20? I'm old and washed up. 24 should be old and washed up as well, but very, very minor complaint. Love the soundtrack, love the cast of characters, and hopefully that continues on with Trails Through Daybreak 2. But the Legend of Heroes game that I think is going to be an incredibly important release in 2025, it goes without saying, it has to be Trails in the Sky First Chapter, the ground-up remake of Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky, the very first game in the franchise, and it's for a wide variety of regions. I think Trails in the Sky First Chapter, this is the opportunity for Falcom to really expand the franchise, because what has always been the prevailing question when talking about Legend of Heroes. Well, where do I start with the franchise? I often have said, especially since the release of Daybreak, yo, just start with Daybreak. There's so many other games, but Daybreak starts this new arc. It's built ground up for the newer platforms. Just start off with it and then circle your way back. I think that was the easiest way to get people into the franchise. Obviously, the more hardcore fans that are super into the story are gonna say, figure out a way to play Trails in the Sky and play the Sky trilogy first. Well, that's great and all. Trails in the Sky is a dated game at this point. It's not available on all platforms, and that's gonna cause a barrier for entry. No longer, as Trails in the Sky First Chapter is a ground-up remake of the beloved first title. Now we can actually say, after Trails in the Sky First Chapter comes out, hey, start with this game. Hopefully this game does well enough, and at any point, this channel has helped you guys out with whatever I cover on this channel, whether it be the deals, the news topics, whatever. I don't want your money, I don't want anything. All I want is for you to support Trails in the Sky First Chapters so we can see subsequent remakes of the other titles in the Sky Trilogy, and then we can see remakes in the Crossbell arc as well. You know, to get all those remakes out, it's gonna take years and years, but I just want this game to do really well because it is the opportunity for so many more people to get ingrained into Legend of Heroes, this magnificent world building that is represented in Legend of Heroes. And I'm not going to say that every game has been a slam dunk home run, but it's been a damn good ride the whole way through. And now we have an opportunity with Trails in the Sky First Chapter to introduce so many more people to the game. Since I know that there was always going to be people that are going to be like, man, I do not want to start with Daybreak that's in the midst of the franchise. You kidding me? Either I start at the beginning or I'm not going to start at all, and for a lot of people, they just weren't going to start at all. Now, you have no excuse. And obviously, the Sky Trilogy is beloved by the hardcore fans. Join Estelle and her adoptive brother Joshua as they embark on their journey as junior bracers determined to climb the ranks of their renowned peacekeeping guild. What begins as a straightforward mission to prove their worth quickly evolves into a gripping adventure of intrigue and peril as they unravel a conspiracy that threatens the very heart of their homeland. Key features: a captivating world. You've got modern gameplay mechanics as well. Experience seamless gameplay with a choice of traditional turn-based combat or an all-new real-time action combat to suit your style of adventure. Love that. Revamped localization as well. Experience the story in a new light with carefully refined translations into English, German, and French. New voiceovers into English and Japanese. Yes, you will have full English voiceover as well and enhanced HD visuals. Immerse yourself in the stunning world brought to life with vivid high-definition detail. The story that redefined the JRPG genre, and again, this is going to be a great one to get into. I know some people say that the Sky Trilogy doesn't really get cooking until Game 2, but Game 1 is fantastic as well, and hopefully this paves the way into Game 2 getting a remake. And then as long as we get Game 2 getting remade, I'm sure we'll get Game 3, and then the Crossbell arc should follow after that. I think that would be fantastic for the franchise, and incredibly excited. Won't come out until the latter portion of 2025, currently scheduled for the fall, but man, you got Daybreak too early in the year, Trails in the Sky at the end of the year, and then hopefully Kai no Kiseki in 2026 over here stateside. A lot of good things to be had for Legend of Heroes next year and beyond. Next up, we have I's Memoire, The Oath in Felghana. Now, over the last few years, it's been great to see Ys become a consistent fixture within the JRPG release, especially over here in the West. Last year, we got Ys 10 Nordics, and there's another Ys title in development. Ys 10 Proud Nordics is going to be coming. However, with 2025, we've got Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana, originally conceived as a reimagining of the 16-bit console classic Ys 3 Wanderers from Ys. This fan-favorite entry returns newly remastered for as Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana. Nearly 15 years after its previous release, longtime fans can look forward to numerous improvements and upgrades, including all-new voiceover for legendary protagonist Adol Christian, with remastered high-definition visuals and music. The epic adventure has never looked or sounded better. Additional features include multiple versions of the sweeping soundtrack, accessibility options, and brand new character illustrations as well, making Ys Memoire the definitive edition of this acclaimed masterpiece. Classic RPG excitement, remastered, refined visual variety, a silent protagonist no longer, newly recorded voice acting for Adol, including an opening narration that sets the stage for adventure, gives new depth and gravity to the famous hero, and a sweeping soundtrack, all reborn. This one is out very, very soon. Ys Memoire, The Oath in Felghana will be dropping on January the 7th. Next up, we have Fate Extra Record coming to PlayStation 5 and 4. This is a remake of Fate Extra, the first Fate series RPG originally released in 2010, now revamped for modern hardware with an expanded scenario, refreshed character graphics, and dramatic command battles utilizing a highly strategic deck building system as well. 128 of the world's top hackers, each capable of transforming their soul into spiritrons, are selected as masters to participate in the Holy Grail War. The servants they form contracts with are the souls of legendary heroes and eminent figures from history whose true names are concealed. These servants are materialized as life forms that are assigned to one of 7 classes such as Saber or Archer. Through their shared struggle, where they entrust their souls to one another, their past and hidden desires do intersect. Fate Extra Record is scheduled to drop in 2025. Next up, we got Tales of Grace's F Remastered dropping January 17th, so right around the corner. Now, as far as Tales go and remasters, I'm really dying for a Tales of the Abyss remaster. Truly, I would like to see Tales of Abyss get a ground-up remake. It does seem like a lot of the remasters they're focusing on are the PS3 era games, but they did remaster Symphonia as well, so Grace is getting the remaster treatment. Look, I like Tales of Grace's Abyss is the one that I really want accessible on modern platforms, and again, with that game, it would be ideal to do a ground-up remake. I don't know if Bandai Namco is going to do that. I don't know if they're going to invest the resources in doing that, but nevertheless, Grace's is going to be a fun time to go back and play through. In Tales of Grace's F Remasters, players will follow the adventure of Asbel and his friends as they embark on a world-spanning adventure filled with unforgettable characters, shocking revelations, and unique companions brought together through promises made across time. The title follows the original version with improved graphics and various useful functions, as well as a number of downloadable content from the original version. On top of that, you will have Lineage and Legacies. This is included. The Lineage and Legacies is a story that depicts the world 6 months after the end of Tales of Graces. You can enjoy an after story that centers around Sophie as well. Added elements include quality of life functions that have been added to the game to make it more convenient and enjoyable for the player. Includes many downloadable contents from the original game, some licensed downloadable content obviously not available. Added overseas language for some groovy chats as well, and adjusted elements as well. The online ranking mode was removed and converted into Trials of Grace, an offline mode found in the title menu as well. Tales of Grace's F, the Remastered Edition, will be dropping on January 17th. Next up, we have yet another Atelier title, an Atelier Resleriana, the Red Alchemist, and the White Guardian. Now, not much is known about the game outside of the fact that it will be out in 2025, and it will be a new adventure with new protagonists and an original story in the world of Atelier, Forgotten Alchemy, and the Polar Knight Liberator, and it's coming to consoles and PC as a completely offline title. Building on the experiences of the Atelier series while also evolving, we invite you to look forward to another story within Resleriana. That is scheduled to drop sometime in 2025. Next up, Konami coming back with a new JRPG in Eden Zero. This is a 3D action RPG based on the space fantasy comic anime Eden Zero by Hiro Mashima, creator of the Fairy Tail and Rave Master series. The player controls a diverse cast of characters as they embark on an epic adventure across different planets while battling powerful enemies throughout as well. Love the visual style and the aesthetic to the game. Surprised to see Eden Zero get a video game, and with this, a big JRPG like it, but excited nonetheless. Eden Zero is scheduled to drop in 2025. Next up, Phantom Brave is getting its latest entry with Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero. Join Morona and her Phantom friends on a mission to defeat the sinister shipwreck fleet, recruit Phantoms, bind them to objects, combine them with gadgets, and even merge them with Morona herself in this Play It Your Way RPG. Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero is an unconventional strategy RPG that features a free movement on a gridless map. Summon your Phantom Squad members during battle by confining their souls to objects on the map. What object you confine them to is up to you, and each different object informs their stats. Phantoms can also confire with special gadget items for slow moving but hard-hitting attacks as well. On top of that, interesting mechanics throughout. Not a visual masterclass by any stretch of the imagination, but a charming game nevertheless, and Phantom Brave: The Lost Hero will drop in 2025. Next up, your mileage as far as considering this a traditional JRPG will vary, but like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, I'd be remiss not mentioning it. Featuring Goro Majima as the main character, this is such a wacky and zany Like a Dragon title, and wacky and zaniness has kind of been emblematic of Yakuza and Like a Dragon in totality for all these years, but this is on another level, and I am so here for it. Now, don't expect this to be a game at the gravitas and length of a Like a Dragon Infinite. Well, this is looking to be a quote-unquote smaller scale game, but you're still going to be able to get quite a lot of content out of it and embark on an over-the-top modern-day pirate adventure with an ex-Yakuza, now pirate captain, and his crew. Engage in exhilarating combat on land and sea in the hunt for lost memories and treasures throughout. A new legend begins as you step into the steel-toed boots of Goro Majima, a man who has lost his memory and reinvents himself as a pirate on the open sea. Embark on an over-the-top modern-day pirate adventure with an ex-Yakuza, now pirate captain, and his crew as they engage in exhilarating combat on land and sea in the hunt for lost memories and legendary treasure throughout as well. Goro Majima, a notorious ex-Yakuza, now suddenly finds himself shipwrecked on a remote island in the Pacific, unable to remember even his own name. He sets sail in search of clues to his lost memories, accompanied by a boy named Noah who saved his life. Before long, they're caught up in a conflict between cutthroat criminals, modern-day pirates, and other scoundrels over a legendary treasure on top of that. Get your ship together, assemble a one-of-a-kind crew while upgrading your ship as you explore the open sea and forge your legend in the cannon of fire of foes. Unexpected friendships and immense riches made along the way. Kick ours with a creative combat. The combat in this game looks so over the top, even for your beat-em-up Yakuza and Like a Dragon style gameplay. Dynamically switch between the Mad Dog and Sea Dog fighting styles to mix up attacks and deliver explosive combos, juggles, and aerial takedowns that reward your creativity with over-the-top action. With Mad Dog style, utilize speed, agility, and flair to deliver precise yet powerful blows that stun your enemies into submission or make enemies walk the plank. With the Sea Dog style that has you dual wielding short swords and deploying tricky pirate tools to kick some serious booty as well. Longtime Yakuza fans finally getting a game centered entirely around Majima. That is incredibly exciting, and in such a zany, wacky location. A premise I could have never guessed, but hey, more power to RGG for figuring it out and keeping their game releases so consistent. Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii is due out on February 20th. Next up, another major franchise finally making a comeback. We have Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunan Unification Wars as well. Finally, Konami bringing back some of their iconic franchise. A hero's destiny is written in the stars. The legendary Konami JRPGs Suikoden 1 and 2 have now been remastered in HD. The story of Suikoden 1 notes a once renowned hero turns into a violent tyrant, and an empire falls into decline. A liberation army is rising up in an active rebellion against an oppressive rule. One by one, the 108 stars of destiny gather to shape the course of history. Then you've got Suikoden 2. Our story's hero and his friends are members of the Unicorn Youth Brigade, which participated in a drawn-out border dispute between the Highland Kingdom and the city-states of Jousted. A few months earlier, a truce agreement was signed between the two forces, both of which were happy to see an end to the fighting. However, hidden under the momentary peace, the fires of a new war continued to smolder. With this upgraded release of Suikoden 1 and 2, they note all background illustrations have been upgraded to HD, updated effects breathe new life into the pixel art animation, new environmental sound effects to immerse yourself in this fantasy world. Battle sound effects also are now HD and add a level of realism. Newly added autosave, that is fantastic. Battle fast forward and conversation logs as well to help you keep track of everything. Suikoden 1 and 2 HD Remaster, Gate Rune, and Dunan Unification Wars is due out on March the 6th. Next up, more Dragon Quest coming from Square Enix. Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake is planned for 2025. We just had the release of Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D Remake, and that was received incredibly well. Now heading into DQ 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake, we still don't have a ton of insight, but there is a lot of teases that are going around by Square Enix, some twists and turns to come with Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD 2D Remake. Excited for this, and longtime Dragon Quest fans obviously are going to be all over this one, scheduled to release sometime in 2025. And lastly, we have yet another remastered collection. A lot of major franchises coming back. The Lunar Remastered Collection is dropping as well. Drive into the enchanting worlds of Lunar Silver Star Stories Complete and Lunar 2 Eternal Blue Complete. Tag along on Alex and Hero's quest and challenge against enemies like the Magic Emperor and God of Destruction to save the world from dire peril on two adventures set 1,000 years apart from one another. Lunar Silver Star Story introduces Alex, an inspiring Dragon Master who bands together with his friends to combat the perilous emergence of the Magic Emperor and stop him from taking over the world. Then Lunar 2 Eternal Blue picks up 1,000 years later and follows Hero and his friends as they set out in search of the goddess alongside an enigmatic girl named Lucia. On this grand quest, fend off enemies like Borgin and the White Knight Leo, who hunt down the group to eradicate what they deem to be the destroyer of Lunar. This definitive remastered edition features enhanced graphics, audio, and quality of life improvements that will satiate the hunger for 90s nostalgia better than you remember. Embark on these 2 adventures with updated language support now available in English, Japanese, French, and German. Don't have an official release date for Lunar Remastered Collection, but it is scheduled for an official release in 2025. And that is going to do it for me. Again, JRPG fans are going to have a lot of options in 2025. Well, again, I wouldn't say at this point in time 2025 is as exciting as 2024. 2024 was just on another level with Infinite Wealth, Grand Blue Fantasy, Persona 3 Reload, FF7 Rebirth. You had Metaphor ReFantasio, Trails Through Daybreak. There's still a lot of exciting stuff. Ys 10 last year as well. You got Ys Memoire this year. Atelier having a big presence in 2025. Trails also having a big presence with Daybreak 2, as well as a Trails of the Sky remake, which I just think is a major release, and a lot of other exciting titles. And I'm sure more games are going to get announced, revealed, and scheduled for 25 as well. That's going to do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.